Alton Towers is currently rebuilding their infamous roller coaster, Nemesis, and everyone and their nan have been following the updates on this thing. I mean, thankfully, a lot of people have been reporting on it as well, you know. I kind of wake up in the morning and I go, oh, what bit of rock has moved in the Nemesis site today? I do enjoy my daily Nemesis track installation check. Jokes aside, we have seen a lot of construction and a lot of building on this new ride, but instead of reporting just on the construction that's happening, I thought it'd be interesting to stand here and talk to you guys about a potential realistic timeline of when the Nemesis will be complete. I mean, the easy answer is of course March 2024, because that's when it's supposed to open, and obviously if you want to give the funny answer, it would have been yesterday that it would have been complete, because they're putting that thing up at a rate of knots. When will the first drop be installed, the first inversion, the helix, the station updates, the rocks that I'm going to crack my feet against, all of that good stuff, when will it happen? I'm going to discuss that today. And of course, if you do want to keep up to date on Nemesis being reborn, then please subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. So of course, if you weren't living under the rocks that I'm going to crack my feet against, we originally found out about the retrack in like December of 2021, I think. That feels like so long ago. And since that leak of this project happening, you've had the signs that went up saying Nemesis is closing. You couldn't tell it was closing around the park. And then you obviously had that massive closing day on the 6th of November, which was such an insane day. It was so good. But what has been the timeline since that day in the late 2022s? I'm going to quickly run through it so we can gauge a good idea of what to expect on the future timeline. And yes, I have actually done some research for once. You wouldn't believe it, would you? So after closing for the season, the site of Nemesis lay dormant for multiple weeks, until one day in late November, literally 3 weeks after closing, new manufactured track was spotted in Ohio. Very interesting. From that point onwards, track was slowly removed from the Nemesis site and making its way into the car park to just sit there and rot. And after all that removal, this is the site of Nemesis the ride. Obviously, past the point of it being removed from the site, there was a period where you couldn't go into the park because it was the closed season, unless you want to break some laws. So during that time, obviously, the reports on this object, Nemesis is an object now, project fell silent, but oh boy did it go loud again in the later months, because then in late April we saw the first announcement of the track being in this country. And I remember that day so well. I was sat on a chair thinking, what can I do today? Nemesis track. And the exact same day as that announcement was made, the track was delivered to the park and installed that very night. Their work rate is like nothing else, I swear to God. The 25th of April, that evening, saw the installation of that final turnaround into the brake run. And it was honestly a massive shock to everyone. We didn't see the track delivery come in, and then to have it installed that exact night was just like, I mean, the workers were probably a bit shocked by it. Imagine being at work and just being told, you know what, you're staying till 4 AM tonight to put some heavy metal track in. That turnaround piece by piece then turned into the final corkscrew that went in early June. That happened, and it was all going smoothly. Even Nemesis Subterra decided to kick its arse back into gear. Round of applause for that really cool ride, guys. Over time, loads more track was spotted in the car park, and then later that month, the overbank literally came in like... It doesn't seem humanly possible to be able to do that, especially when days after that going in, they then installed the first stall turn. And I slowed down for a minute, and they did slow down because there was a long gap after that. Until July 20th, where the next inversion on the ride, the vertical loop, is now in. And I actually haven't given my opinion on the vertical loop really, because I've only seen it going half in, and now it's fully in. But yeah, my God, doesn't it just look incredible? Look, just the colour scheme in general on that ride, with the black being such a dark colour and that red vein just popping out, saturation 100. It's like my thumbnail, red arrow time. And we thought that was it for now, but July 21st, the day after the vertical loop went in, and the 0G roll is half in over the station. I mean, come on now. What's going to go in tomorrow? I mean, I've heard they're moving so fast with this project that they've decided to retrack Galactica on the way. I mean, seriously though, what a construction period. Absolutely bonkers. Fair play to Alton Towers. But that begs the question, and the main part of this video. What is the future timeline for Nemesis construction? When will we see it finally complete? And when will it begin actually inevitably testing? The answer is no one knows for sure, but we can do a little bit of speculation about this. Oh, I guess it must be time, eh? Roll the intro. No, wrong one! I don't know why I'm playing an intro halfway through a video. Now the 0G roll has been half put in, I would imagine with the rate that they're going, that will be finished off in the next week, if not sooner. And I can imagine that being done all the way down to the pit after the helix. And alongside that 0G roll being finished, it wouldn't surprise me if they start putting up the support before that first little drop, and maybe even the corkscrew, those supports will go in soon. Along with the fact that there's a lot of scaffolding on that lift hill and brake run, so we could see that track being painted up very soon. Something's telling me that that helix, which is after the first inversion, that kind of goes all the way down into the pit, going up into the 0G roll, that section will be the last to go in. Purely because that section needs a lot of supports with a lot of strength in them. So give it a few weeks, maybe into the end of August or even early September, and we'll probably see the first drop and that first inversion go up after those supports are installed. Oh my god, I haven't even thought about how good that inversion is going to look with that new paint scheme. Oh my goodness. But then going back to that helix being put in, I could see that happening in about October, because I feel like that's going to be a very long process, or it might just go up overnight. You never know with Alton Towers. But bear in mind, of course, that is very close to the pathways, and bloody hell, it's even close to the monorail. How are they going to do that? So it's going to have to be done when the park is closed, which if they're trying to get it all done before the end of the season, which I could see plausible, you know, then they're definitely going to do that overnight at about 4 AM again. I'm sorry, staff, you're going to be shocked again. We haven't reached the end of our discussion, but that would be the track complete. But there's so much more to worry about. During the time towards the end of the season, near October and maybe November as well, I can see lots, and I mean lots, of station work happening on park, because the station is going to change massively, and it's going to change for the better, of course. We could see the station extended outwards, we could see new rooms, new colours. Oh, well, I mean, the colours are pretty much certain. I just feel like everything about that section of the site is going to look entirely different from its previous identity, because we've gone from a rustic white and like a soft red and pink Nemesis to this intimidating black and red monster Nemesis. I don't think they could have done a better retrack, in my opinion. And something important as well is the delivery of the roller coaster trains, and I could see that happening just before they finish the track in either September or October. They could be sent one of the trains, 2, they might even get 3 as an offer, maybe 5. And of course, once you've got the entire track complete and the trains, what's stopping you from testing it? So I can imagine we will see Nemesis start to test in late October. I don't know whether that's too much of a squeezed in time frame or whether that's a bit too outwards. I'm just speculating here. But if that is the case, we should be able to catch some testing on the tail end of the season. How cool would that be? And one thing I have said since last year is I would love to see this year a brand new sort of show to end the fireworks and end the final day of the season, more like they did last year, where they told everyone you need to go over to Nemesis and like get your final ride and that sort of thing. But this time they sort of tell us something's gone wrong over at Nemesis and we need to go and like sort of investigate, and we go over and it's testing for the first time. And that probably won't happen. That's like an ideal world, but can you imagine? I mean, even if that was the first time it ever tested, we'd probably be able to see it testing beforehand, because you know us enthusiasts. But that track, the way they've been putting it up so soon when you've got rides like Exodus that haven't even gone vertical yet, shows that something big is going to happen with the theming. And you can tell that's what they want to focus on a little bit. If they actually implemented some really good theming, it's easily going to be the best coaster in the UK. UK #1. Until Project Exodus opens. When do you think it will start testing? And what are you most excited for in Nemesis Reborn? Leave it in the comments below. And subscribe. Goodbye.